In a quiet town, a family vanished without a trace, leaving pain and unanswered questions in their wake. Who were the Riverside family, and what led to their heartbreaking disappearance? This case remains etched in the memories of those who lived through it, a chilling reminder of the fragility of life. The Riverside family was a typical suburban household, filled with laughter and love. On the surface, their lives seemed perfect, but behind closed doors, darkness loomed. Their story begins in the year 1995, a year that would change everything for them forever. The parents, David and Michelle, were known in the neighborhood for their warmth and generosity. Their two children, Sarah and James, were vibrant and full of life. But as summer approached, tensions within the family would begin to surface, leading to devastating consequences. It all started with whispers about David's troubling behavior. Friends noticed he had become increasingly withdrawn, often arguing with Michelle. Rumors began to spread, hinting at a darker side of David that no one could have predicted. On June 12, 1995, the Riverside family was last seen together at a local fair. Witnesses described a cheerful family, with David smiling alongside his wife and kids. But that night, everything changed. They would never be seen again. Days turned into weeks, and concern grew as the family's absence became apparent. Neighbors reported their uncharacteristic silence, and a missing persons report was filed. The community rallied together, hoping for the best but fearing the worst. The investigation began, and local police flooded the area with search teams. They combed through nearby woods, scoured the family's home, and interviewed everyone who knew the Riversides. But clues were scarce, and frustration mounted. As weeks stretched into months, the search shifted from rescue to recovery. Detectives uncovered previously unreported conflicts within the family, unveiling a complex tapestry of marital strife and hidden secrets that painted a different picture of their lives. One shocking detail emerged. David had taken out a substantial life insurance policy shortly before the family's disappearance. This revelation shifted the focus of the investigation and raised troubling questions about his role in the tragedy. As detectives delved deeper, they discovered David had connections to a criminal underworld, raising suspicions that he may have orchestrated the disappearance. Could he be hiding something far more sinister than anyone imagined? In August 1995, a breakthrough occurred when skeletal remains were found in a remote area. While the identity was yet to be confirmed, the community held its breath, praying it wouldn't belong to the Riversides. The fear was palpable. The remains were eventually confirmed to belong to Michelle Riverside, sending shockwaves through the community. As they mourned her loss, the search continued for the rest of the family, and David's involvement became a central focus of the investigation. With mounting evidence against him, David was brought in for questioning. He maintained his innocence, claiming he had no knowledge of his family's fate. But the detectives were unconvinced, and the pressure continued to mount. As the investigation progressed, David's story began to unravel. Witnesses came forward with details of suspicious behavior, and new evidence suggested David may have been involved in his family's tragic fate, casting a shadow over his innocence. Despite the evidence, David was never charged with the crime. The case went cold, leaving the Riverside family's fate a haunting mystery. Families across the community were left to wonder, how could someone they trusted become a suspected murderer? Years passed, and the case faded from headlines, but not from the hearts of those who remembered. New theories emerged, suggesting the family may have fled to escape a life of turmoil, but the reality remained bleak and unresolved. In 2005, a documentary resurfaced the Riverside case, reigniting public interest and prompting renewed discussions about the family's tragedy. The community felt a surge of hope, but also the weight of unresolved grief. As the years continued to pass, efforts were made to keep the Riverside family's memory alive. Charitable events were organized in their honor, aimed at supporting families affected by similar tragedies, creating a legacy of hope amid despair. Despite the tragedy, the Riverside story serves as a reminder of the importance of community vigilance. It urges us to speak up when something seems off, to protect those who may be suffering in silence. The Riverside family case remains unsolved, a chilling tale of love, loss, and mystery. As we reflect on their story, we are reminded that every family has its untold struggles, and we must stand together to support one another. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the heartbreaking story of the Riverside family. We encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think happened to them? Let's keep their memory alive together. In the weeks following the Riverside family's disappearance, the community was engulfed in a palpable sense of unease. Neighbors who once exchanged pleasantries now eyed each other with suspicion as the search for answers intensified. Local news stations amplified the urgency, broadcasting updates and appeals for information around the clock. The Riverside family's home, once a vibrant hub of laughter and love, stood eerily silent. Investigators meticulously combed through the property, searching for clues while neighbors reminisced about the family's joyful moments. Each passing day raised more questions than answers, deepening the community's anguish. Among the many volunteers who joined the search was Sarah, a close friend of the family. With tear-streaked cheeks, she recalled the Riverside children playing in the park. As she distributed flyers and spoke with local residents, she conveyed their joy, hoping to reignite hope in the community. As pressure mounted, the local police department enlisted the help of state authorities. With each passing day, the stakes grew higher, resources were stretched, but the determination never wavered. Investigators began to piece together the family's last known movements, hoping to find a vital clue that could break the case wide open. Rumors began to swirl in the community, fueled by speculation and fear. Some residents theorized the family may have encountered foul play, while others clung to the hope of a voluntary disappearance. The uncertainty weighed heavily on everyone, as panic seeped through the streets like a fog. Days turned into weeks, and the emotional toll on the Riverside family's relatives became increasingly visible. Family members held press conferences, pleading for information and sharing heartfelt memories. Their grief transformed into a powerful call for action that resonated far beyond the local community. As searches continued, a chilling lead emerged. A witness claimed to have seen the Riverside family's vehicle parked at a remote location days after their disappearance. The information prompted a new aerial search, reigniting hopes that this might be the breakthrough everyone had been waiting for. The renewed focus on the remote area sparked a frenzy of activity. Search teams scoured the rugged terrain, retracing steps in hopes of finding any trace of the family. As hours turned into days, the community's hope hung by a thread, but still, they pressed on, driven by love and determination. Meanwhile, local media coverage amplified as rumors of a potential suspect surfaced. An individual with a history of troubling behavior was reportedly seen near the Riverside family's home around the time of their disappearance. Investigators scrambled to interview this person, hoping to uncover vital information. The atmosphere in the community grew tense as more details emerged about the suspect's past. Friends and family of the Riverside family expressed disbelief that someone they had never suspected could be involved. The reality of the situation began to sink in, igniting fear among residents. As investigators delved deeper into the suspect's background, unsettling connections to the Riverside family began to surface. Disturbing evidence hinted at a motive, but the police remained tight-lipped as they worked meticulously to build a case. The community held its breath, hoping for justice. With every nibble of information released, the media frenzy escalated. News outlets began to sensationalize the case, drawing in viewers from across the nation. The Riverside family's story transformed into a national headline, and their plight was shared far and wide, bringing new voices to the search. As the investigation progressed, a breakthrough came. Forensic evidence linked the suspect to the Riverside family's vehicle. This revelation sent shockwaves through the community, renewing hope that justice was finally within reach. Investigators knew they were inching closer to solving the case. In the wake of the newfound evidence, police launched a manhunt for the suspect. The urgency surged as the community banded together, determined to support the authorities in any way possible. Local businesses and residents organized rallies demanding justice for the Riverside family. As the case gained national attention, the Riverside family's plight became a symbol of resilience. Fundraising efforts emerged to support the family's relatives, and countless donations flowed in. The community rallied, transforming grief into hope and action, demonstrating their unwavering support for one another. But as the search for the suspect progressed, unsettling whispers of doubt began to circulate. Some questioned the thoroughness of the investigation, while others feared that the media spotlight may have obscured critical leads. The community remained vigilant, urging law enforcement to remain focused on justice. With the spotlight shining brighter than ever, law enforcement faced mounting pressure to resolve the case. As investigators sifted through the evidence, tensions grew, and the fear of a cold case loomed large. The community's hope for closure remained ever present, even as uncertainties lingered. As the investigation came to a pivotal point, unexpected developments arose. Anonymous tips flooded in, providing new insights into the Riverside family's last movements. Each piece of information heightened the anticipation, leading investigators to reconsider overlooked details. With each new detail, the community's resolve strengthened. They organized candlelight vigils, lighting candles not only in memory of the Riverside family, but as a symbol of hope for their safe return. These gatherings became a unifying force, reminding everyone of the love that still lingered. As the search dragged on, law enforcement refused to abandon their pursuit of justice. They sought the expertise of specialists in missing persons cases, determined to apply fresh perspectives to the investigation. The community watched closely, hoping for a breakthrough. In an unexpected twist, a previously undisclosed piece of evidence came to light, shedding new light on the timeline of events. Investigators raced to piece together the puzzle, now armed with a clearer picture of the Riverside family's final days. The emotional toll of the case was palpable, not just for the Riverside family, but for the community that had rallied around them. Police held regular updates, sharing the progress and reminding everyone that they were not alone in their search for answers. As the investigation continued to unfold, the Riverside family's story remained a haunting reminder of the fragility of life. Even amid despair, the community held on to hope, steadfast in their belief that every detail matters in the pursuit of justice. As we leave this chapter unresolved, the story of the Riverside family serves as a powerful reminder of our shared humanity. Their legacy continues, igniting discussions and inspiring actions within the community. Let us not forget their struggle as we continue to seek justice and support for all who have faced tragedy. Following the Riverside family's tragic events, the community began to grapple with the emotional aftermath. Neighbors, once united, now faced an unsettling silence where laughter used to echo. Each family member left behind felt the weight of a shared loss, a wound too deep to heal. In the years that followed, memorials sprouted in remembrance of the family. Flowers, candles, and handwritten notes adorned their former home, creating a shrine that spoke volumes of their absence. The community struggled to reconcile their memories with the haunting reality of what transpired. Yet, amidst the mourning, whispers of conspiracy began to circulate. Some residents speculated that the tragedy was not random, but rather a result of deeper, darker secrets lurking within Riverside. Theories ranged from local rivalries to hidden criminal activities, each more chilling than the last. Local law enforcement faced mounting pressure to solve the case, but leads quickly became stale. Investigators worked tirelessly, poring over evidence, conducting interviews, and exploring every angle. However, the lack of significant breakthroughs left many feeling hopeless. In the absence of answers, the Riverside family became a cautionary tale for others. Parents spoke openly with their children about safety, urging them to stay vigilant. The tragedy shifted the community's focus toward preventive measures, emphasizing awareness over naivety. As time went on, the Riverside tragedy faded from daily conversation, but not from the hearts of those affected. The family's story was woven into local folklore, reminding residents of the fragility of life and the importance of unity in the face of adversity. Years later, an unexpected tip reignited interest in the case. A former resident, now living far away, recalled seeing suspicious activity leading up to the tragedy. This revelation sent shockwaves through the community, sparking renewed hope for justice and closure. With the new information, law enforcement reopened the investigation, meticulously retracing their steps. They interviewed witnesses again, seeking any forgotten details that could piece together the puzzle of that fateful night. As investigators delved deeper, they uncovered a web of interconnected stories involving several local residents. Each individual seemed to hold a fragment of the truth, yet none could provide the full picture. The community's fear and distrust grew as suspicion turned inward. The reopening of the case led to a series of community meetings where residents expressed their frustrations and fears. Tensions ran high as some accused others of withholding information, while others pledged to support the investigation. A rift began to form within the community. Amidst the chaos, a local journalist became fixated on the Riverside family story. Determined to uncover the truth, they began to dig into past police reports, interviewing anyone connected to the family. Their pursuit of justice reignited interest in a story long thought forgotten. As the journalist uncovered more details, they discovered a witness who had never come forward. This person had seen a vehicle leaving the scene just after the incident. Their testimony could potentially change everything and bring the community one step closer to closure. The journalist's article, published detailing the revived investigation and new witness accounts, went viral. The community buzzed with renewed energy and determination, sharing the story widely in hopes of jogging someone's memory and leading to new evidence. As whispers of the story spread beyond Riverside, media outlets began to take notice. Documentaries, podcasts, and news segments highlighted the Riverside family's tragic legacy, ensuring their story would not be forgotten and that justice might still prevail. Meanwhile, community members organized vigils, lighting candles, and sharing stories of the Riverside family. These gatherings not only honored the victims, but also fostered a sense of solidarity among residents, reminding them that they were all part of this ongoing fight for justice. As the new wave of attention revitalized the case, law enforcement began to receive tips from across the country. Some claimed to have seen the family days before the incident, while others offered theories about their connections to local crime. Each lead was explored with urgency. Conversations around justice took root in schools. Lessons focused on the importance of community involvement and the collective responsibility to ensure safety. The Riverside family story became a pivotal case study, inspiring future generations to stand against violence. In a small breakthrough, investigators identified a potential suspect linked to the vehicle sighting. This individual had a troubled past that included previous run-ins with the law, raising eyebrows and fueling further speculation among residents still seeking answers. As the investigation intensified, community members began to unite, forming support groups for victims' families. They shared their stories, advocating for justice and raising awareness about violence in their neighborhoods, thus creating a strong network against crime. The renewed sense of purpose led to a community gathering to discuss next steps in supporting the investigation. Residents planned to collaborate with law enforcement, sharing any information they had and ensuring that the Riverside family's story lived on in their efforts. As more evidence emerged, the investigation seemed to edge closer to a resolution. Each lead, each witness, and each new theory added weight to the case. Law enforcement remained hopeful that they could finally provide answers to a community yearning for closure. In a shocking turn, the potential suspect was arrested. As news broke, the community erupted with mixed emotions. Relief mingled with anger, as many questioned how someone in their midst could be involved in such a heinous act. As the trial date approached, the Riverside family's story was once again thrust into the spotlight. Media outlets covered every aspect, leading to heightened anticipation and anxiety among community members, many of whom hoped for justice at last. During the trial, harrowing testimonies from both friends and family painted a vivid picture of the Riverside family's life. Their laughter, hopes, and dreams stood in stark contrast to the tragedy that unfolded, reminding everyone of the lives lost and the legacy left behind. As the defense presented its case, doubt began to creep into the minds of some community members. They questioned the evidence, wondering if justice could truly be served, igniting debates around the complexities of the legal system and its flaws. Witnesses were called to the stand, recounting the elusive details of that fateful night. Each account held the power to shape the outcome, creating an atmosphere thick with tension and hope as the community held its breath for the truth to emerge. As the closing arguments were delivered, emotions ran high. The prosecutor painted a haunting portrait of the Riverside family's last moments, urging the jury to consider their pain. The community collectively held its breath, awaiting the verdict that could change everything. Finally, the jury deliberated. Days felt like weeks as the community waited anxiously for justice to be served. Conversations buzzed around town, each person speculating about the outcome, hopeful yet fearful of what lay ahead. When the verdict was announced, a wave of emotions flooded through the community. Relief, anger, and sorrow intertwined, as the jury's decision echoed in the hearts of those who had gathered. It was a moment that would define the Riverside family story for years to come. As the news spread, the Riverside family's legacy took on a new meaning. Their story inspired changes within the local justice system, prompting community leaders to advocate for reforms and ensure similar tragedies would not happen again. With renewed advocacy, residents came together to honor the Riverside family, establishing scholarships and community programs designed to uplift those affected by violence. They sought to turn pain into purpose, ensuring that the family's memory lived on through positive change. As events unfolded, the Riverside family's story became a national topic, featured in documentaries and podcasts. Their tragic legacy sparked discussions about safety and vigilance, encouraging communities everywhere to come together and foster change. In the years that followed, the Riverside family's home became a symbol of resilience. Though it stood as a reminder of their loss, it also represented a community's strength, united in the quest for justice and healing. As the town healed, the Riverside family's story found new life in art and literature. Local artists and writers used their experiences to create pieces that captured the essence of community, loss, and the unwavering spirit of those left behind. Decades later, the Riverside family's tragedy remained etched in the minds of the residents. Schools taught their story as a lesson in vigilance and compassion, ensuring future generations would remember the importance of standing against violence. As anniversaries of the tragedy approached, the community held remembrance events, honoring the Riverside family's memory with moments of silence and reflection. These gatherings solidified their place in local history and strengthened community bonds. In conclusion of their story, the Riverside family became a universal symbol of loss and resilience, reminding communities everywhere to prioritize safety and compassion. Their legacy lives on, inspiring ongoing efforts for justice and community support. As we reflect on the Riverside family's story, we are reminded of the fragility of life and the strength of community. Their tragedy continues to resonate, urging us to remain vigilant and compassionate in our pursuit of justice. The Riverside family's story is not just a tale of tragedy, but a testament to the resilience and compassion that can arise from loss. Let us honor their memory by committing our communities safer and more supportive for all. As the investigation unfolded, the Riverside case revealed layers of complexity that stunned the community. Local authorities discovered unsettling connections between the family and a series of unsolved crimes. Each revelation seemed to deepen the mystery surrounding their tragic fate, raising more questions than answers. Friends and neighbors of the Riverside family shared their memories, painting a picture of warmth and love that contrasted starkly with the horror of their demise. Many recalled the family's commitment to community service, highlighting their involvement in local charities and events that uplifted others around them. In the wake of the tragedy, an outpouring of support flooded in from all corners. Fundraisers were organized and memorials erected, reminding everyone of the lives lost. These gestures of solidarity served as a balm for a community grappling with grief and confusion. Meanwhile, investigators turned their focus towards the family's financial records, searching for any signs of motive or distress. The intricacies of their day-to-day life began to emerge, revealing struggles that had been hidden beneath the surface of their seemingly idyllic existence. As the search for answers continued, detectives uncovered a chilling pattern of threats that had been directed at the Riverside family prior to the tragedy. Neighbors recalled hearing unsettling noises at night, and some even reported seeing suspicious individuals lurking nearby. Investigators soon discovered that the family had been involved in a contentious property dispute with a local developer. This revelation sparked theories about motives and potential suspects, leading to a deeper investigation into the developer's past and connections. The local developer, once a respected figure in the community, found himself under scrutiny as investigators dug into his history. Previous accusations of unethical practices and threats against other residents emerged, raising alarm bells about his character and potential involvement. As the case gained media attention, a documentary filmmaker approached the surviving family members, hoping to share their story and keep the memory of the Riverside family alive. This endeavor was both a way to honor the victims and a means of shedding light on the ongoing investigation. The documentary, titled Remembering Riverside, aimed to piece together the family's last days, utilizing interviews, archival footage, and community testimonies. As it aired, it ignited a renewed interest in the case and inspired many to come forward with new information. With the case back in the spotlight, tips began pouring in from viewers who remembered odd occurrences around the Riverside neighborhood. The community, once again united in their quest for justice, sparked hope that the truth could finally come to light. As the investigation continued to evolve, law enforcement officials were faced with mounting pressure to solve the case. Every new lead sparked a flurry of activity, and the community's expectations grew, pushing detectives to explore every possible avenue. In a shocking twist, an anonymous letter arrived at the police department claiming to have crucial evidence related to the Riverside case. The legitimacy of the letter sent detectives scrambling as they weighed the possibility of a breakthrough against potential deception. The letter led investigators to a previously overlooked witness who had been in the area at the time of the tragedy. This witness described a vehicle seen near the Riverside home on that fateful night, providing a potential lead that could change the course of the investigation. With this new information, detectives launched a manhunt for the vehicle and its owner, combing through surveillance footage from nearby businesses. The community held its breath, hopeful that they were finally closer to uncovering the truth behind the Riverside family's fate. As the investigation deepened, the emotional toll on the surviving family members became increasingly apparent. Struggling to cope with their loss, they spoke candidly about their grief and the weight of their search for justice, drawing sympathy from the community. Weeks later, a break in the case finally emerged when forensic analysis of the vehicle identified DNA linked to an individual with a shady past. The news reverberated through the community, igniting both hope and fear about the potential implications of this discovery. With new suspects emerging, detectives faced the daunting task of piecing together the puzzle. Each lead opened up another layer of complexity, further entrenching the community in a whirlwind of speculation and anxiety. As the investigation continued, a series of community forums were held, allowing residents to voice their concerns and share their own experiences of fear and safety. These sessions proved invaluable, as they fostered a sense of unity and determination to see justice served. As more community members came forward, a clearer picture of the events leading up to the tragedy began to form. Investigators found that tensions had been brewing in the neighborhood long before that tragic night, hinting at deeper issues within the community. The Riverside family became a symbol of the need for change as the community rallied for improved safety measures. Residents advocated for neighborhood watch programs and greater police presence, determined to protect one another and prevent another tragedy. As the investigation neared its conclusion, the emotional scars left by the Riverside tragedy remained raw. Community members came together to create a memorial garden, a serene space dedicated to the memory of the victims, and a reminder of their resilience. In the final phases of the investigation, law enforcement prepared to unveil their findings. The community held its breath, anxiously awaiting answers that could finally bring some semblance of closure to the lingering questions surrounding the Riverside family's fate. As the community awaits justice, the legacy of the Riverside family endures. Their story serves as a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the relentless pursuit of truth. Join us next time as we continue to explore the impact of unsolved cases and the stories that deserve to be told. As the investigation continued, the Riverside family's close friends began to voice their concerns. They recalled odd behaviors and unsettling conversations that hinted at deeper issues within the family. Each recollection painted a troubling picture of the days leading up to their disappearance. Local authorities revisited the Riverside home, searching for any overlooked evidence. Every room felt frozen in time, filled with echoes of laughter, now replaced by silence. Investigators meticulously examined personal belongings, hoping one clue might unravel the mystery. Community members rallied together, organizing search parties to comb through nearby woods and fields. Their determination was palpable, fueled by a mix of fear and hope. Each search day ended with heavy hearts, but a renewed commitment to find the missing family. Weeks turned into months, and the investigation faced mounting pressure. The media spotlight intensified, with reporters digging for any new leads. Headlines screamed for answers. But the Riverside family's fate remained shrouded in mystery, deepening the community's anxiety. Then, a breakthrough. A local hiker discovered a personal item belonging to one of the family members deep in the woods. This find reignited hope among the community, but also raised new questions about the family's last moments. What had happened to them in those woods? With the newfound evidence, detectives intensified their investigation into the area. They conducted interviews with hikers and local residents, piecing together a timeline of the Riverside family's last known movements. Each lead could be crucial in unraveling the mystery. As investigators explored the family's background, they unearthed unsettling secrets. Financial troubles and unresolved conflicts may have contributed to their tragic end. These revelations painted a darker picture of the family dynamics leading up to their disappearance. Rumors began to swirl around town as speculation about the family's fate spiraled. Some believed they had fled to escape their troubles, while others feared foul play. Misinformation spread rapidly, complicating the search efforts and fracturing community trust. Amidst the chaos, a local reporter took a personal interest in the Riverside case. They began digging deeper, connecting with family members and friends. Their investigative work uncovered more about the family's last days, shedding light on previously unknown aspects. As the community struggled with the uncertainty, support groups emerged for those affected by the case. Families shared their own experiences with loss and trauma, forging connections through shared grief. This unexpected bond brought solace amidst the chaos. The Riverside case drew the attention of a renowned criminologist who offered to consult on the investigation. They introduced new techniques and perspectives, rekindling hope that an outsider's expertise might finally crack the case wide open. As the investigation progressed, the community hosted vigils for the Riverside family. Candles flickered in the dark, each flame representing hope and remembrance. These gatherings became a testament to the family's enduring legacy, even in the face of tragedy. Despite the community's efforts, leads continued to dwindle. As time passed, The Riverside case became a grim reminder of unresolved mysteries. Families and investigators alike felt the weight of disappointment as new leads failed to materialize. In a surprising twist, an anonymous tip revealed a possible sighting of the Riverside family in a neighboring state. This unexpected lead reignited the investigation and sent teams scrambling to follow up on the information. Could this finally be the breakthrough everyone had been waiting for? Authorities quickly mobilized, coordinating with local law enforcement in the neighboring state to verify the sighting. The tension was palpable as everyone hoped this lead would bring clarity. Yet, uncertainty loomed, reminding them of past disappointments. As the investigation unfolded, the Riverside family's story began to resonate beyond their community. National news outlets picked up the story, drawing attention to the ongoing search. With more eyes on the case, hope blossomed that someone might hold the key to the mystery. In the wake of renewed interest, tips began flooding in. Each potential lead was a mix of excitement and caution as investigators sifted through them. The pressure was on to track down every clue that could lead them to the Riverside family. As the search continued, the emotional toll on the Riverside family's loved ones became evident. Their grief was palpable, with each passing day serving as a reminder of their loved one's absence. Community support played a crucial role in helping them cope during this difficult time. The case took another unexpected turn when a supposed witness came forward, claiming to have seen the Riverside family the day they vanished. Their testimony created a flicker of hope, but it also raised questions regarding credibility and accuracy. Was this the breakthrough they had been searching for? Detectives meticulously examined the witness's story, cross-referencing it with known timelines and locations. As they delved deeper, inconsistencies began to emerge, casting doubt on the reliability of the information. The investigation faced yet another setback. Despite the setbacks, the community remained resolute in their quest for answers. They organized fundraisers to support ongoing investigations and to help the Riverside family's loved ones cope with their loss. Their spirit of unity shone brightly in the darkness. As new leads dwindled, the Riverside case transitioned from an active investigation to an unsolved mystery. Yet, the family story lived on through the memories shared by those who loved them. Their legacy became a symbol of hope amidst despair. The impact of the Riverside family's disappearance rippled through their community, forever altering relationships and trust. Neighborhoods banded together, and once isolated individuals found solace in shared grief, creating a stronger, more connected community in their wake. As years passed, the Riverside family's case remained open, a haunting reminder of life's uncertainties. Annual vigils continued, a testament to their memory and the hope that one day the truth would emerge from the shadows. In the absence of answers, the Riverside family's story inspired artists and writers who used their tale to highlight the importance of community and the quest for justice. Their legacy transformed from tragedy to a source of inspiration for many. The Riverside family's disappearance sparked discussions around safety and vigilance within communities. Awareness campaigns emerged, emphasizing the importance of looking out for one another, reinforcing the notion that every life matters. As the years turned into a decade, the Riverside family's story continued to resonate. Documentaries and podcasts highlighted their case, ensuring that their voices were not forgotten. Each retelling served to keep the memory alive and to seek justice. The Riverside family's case also led to reforms in local law enforcement practices regarding missing persons. Advocates pushed for more resources and training, ensuring that no family would have to endure what the Riversides experienced. Ultimately, the Riverside family's story became a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring search for truth. Their legacy transcended tragedy, uniting a community in hope, love, and resilience, proving that even in darkness, light can emerge.